Hey guys, you're watching Bad Orange Entertainment. Today we're breaking down the Spider-Man No Way Home official trailer that dropped the other day, and I'm about to scrub through it frame by frame. Yes, I can just bust into YouTube mode that easily.
Yeah, man. I have to say, I wasn't expecting you to come out so hot, but I feel like I have to follow up with that. And it's funny because back when we
Yeah.
did review movies, I'm pretty sure the one of the last things I reviewed was the Sam Raimi Spider-Man trilogy. So
Oh my
I'm
God,
very
you're right.
excited to see all these crazy things in the trailer that indicate a larger shared universe with Sony's properties, combining that with the MCU, and just kind of having that cohesion and watching those different tones mesh together. Have to say that I'm fucking hyped. I'm so excited. Can't wait for December 17th.
Either going to be a mess or really good.
Definitely some
That's
Spider-Man 3 fear, but it looks like big but. I think Kevin Feige has already proved that he can do, or not Kevin Feige in particular, but his vision and the directors that he's chosen for said projects have proven that he can produce films that have a onslaught of very big characters that have a lot of personalities, and somehow these creative teams have found a way to give every one of those characters their proper screen time and
money
moments
by paying them, by
by
paying
the big bucks,
by
which is
paying the
why,
actors and the studios dollars.
dude, I don't know what the official budget for this yet is, but I would be very surprised if it's under 250 mil.
Well, let's look through the trailer and see what exactly we're getting with that supposed 250. So I don't know if I should just I could frame by frame this. I could, so let's just see. So obviously I'm thinking big climactic ending.
Yeah.
I don't know how much I should get into leaks or rumors,
I
things
guess
like
it's
that.
fair to go ahead and throw a potential spoiler banner.
Potential. I have not seen the movie. I've seen things on Twitter, on the boards, on 4chan. I just roam. But I'm betting this is, the big climactic ending, and we're gonna see some of that of the Statue of Liberty stuff complete with Captain America shield later on in the movie. But as we can see, there is the big construction set. And just looking at the railings and damage that Peter's taken, it's fair to say that he's been through some stuff. This is when our spell goes wrong. I'm not I seeing Strange and Peter have like this kind of headbutting relationship. It's a little interesting. What do you think about that?
I'm pretty excited. I think that we've seen them work well together before.
Mm-hmm.
So I think it's a little interesting to go ahead and flip that coin because, Doctor Strange is always about preserving the multiverse and making sure the universe stays together, whereas Peter still has that very black and white sense of morality. And of course, the integrity of both of those values are not going to always align. So
Right.
I'm very excited to see how that's going to go, especially given Peter's philosophy on not killing, which I'm sure we'll go ahead and bring that up later in the trailer.
Um, First look at Doc Ock, obviously getting some of that sweet Stark tech. I remember reading up that each of our villains are kind of gonna get like sort of like a costume upgrade or something that makes them stand out a little bit better in this new movie. So get some Stark tech on the arms. That's pretty cool. Um, you know, kind of latching onto them with the nanobot technology that we see in like the Iron Spider suit.
Right.
Then as we get closer here, fuck, dude,
Yep.
this I'm pretty sure is Willem Dafoe.
I think so as well. If I were a betting man, I'd say that he breaks into Oscorp in this
No
uh,
way.
universe. And it's like, wow, there's some good shit in here.
They didn't have this shit in my universe.
So
Although these do look like the things that cut up Peter in Spider-Man 3, right?
they do. So I mean, we might be man, there's no way. James Franco's not in this. So
No,
I
there's no way. Because
there's no
he's like, didn't they call him out as like a
he's
sexual
canceled.
predator or something? Yeah, he's canceled.
He's canceled.
After that, holy shit, it's Jamie Foxx.
It is Jamie
Um,
Foxx, and I love the new costume.
oh yeah, it looks way better, way closer to comic accuracy. And if we check out that face of his, you can see
That's
the classic star of Electro coming up, and he even flashes blue for a second.
I love it. I'm kind of curious to know what his angle is going to be in this
Mm,
film. You know, what are his motivations? Because he had one of the, I guess, one of the more underdeveloped character origins in the Spider-Man, I guess, franchise a little bit.
at least it's not Rhino.
At least it's not Rhino, absolutely. So I'm curious to see what if MCU is going to take any new liberties in fleshing out that background. And
Mm,
yet again, given that we've already spent so much time with Peter, and the majority of all of these other characters that have either been heavily featured in previous films or hell have even had their own film, I would not be surprised, especially knowing John Watts in terms of like what he does for storytelling. I would not be surprised if a lot of this film's runtime is actually focused on fleshing out some of these villains, which I hope to God that they're doing, because I love this cast, and it's a crime not to take advantage of having these A-list characters that are have already achieved iconic, villain movie status
yeah, the
many
lizard,
occasions, and
the
throwing them back
lizard,
together.
absolutely.
You told me this was happening even 2 years ago, like you're fucking out of your mind. But here we are, so it's hard not to be excited about it.
Yeah. And then finishing up the little sizzle, just getting more of that climactic ending, and then we can start the trailer proper. So I'm gonna go ahead and skim through this a little bit better. This has got to be like some devastating blow
You know
to
what?
Peter, right?
We
Who's
said that
dead?
this was kind of like spoiler territory.
Potential.
You think MJ just fucking eats shit at the Statue of Liberty?
I'm gonna say no. I'm gonna say one or two other people die, and I'll bring that up a little bit later in this trailer when we see a bit of the scene playing out. But I'm betting it's not MJ.
Or it might be a couple of our villains, maybe, but we'll see.
Right, because Peter is not wanting to kill apparently. Um, getting a look at the ending of Far From Home, when everything is perfect and ideal.
Until it's not.
So it's not. Getting a look at all the repercussions of Spider-Man's identity being revealed, which good and bad. I think it'll probably bring him closer to Ned and then MJ, but as we're gonna see throughout the entire event of the film, it's definitely got repercussions.
For sure.
The subway stuff really reminded me of Amazing Spider-Man 2 with all the scenes, or the Amazing Spider-Man series with all this time spent in the sewers, like with the lizard having his base in the sewers, and
The whole entire
Peter,
fire
and then
going.
Peter looking into like his parents in the subway car with the coin.
Yeah, that'd be funny. What if it's just Andrew Garfield just working in a subway car? That'd be
Yeah,
hilarious.
that's his cameo.
That's his actual cameo. Funny you say that though. The first thing I saw that, as soon as I saw that, I immediately thought of Spider-Man 3. Just the whole entire subway sequence.
Right. So keep getting our look at, this is the crux of the film. Peter going to Strange for help, messing up the spell. And he has some really interesting dialogue here saying, like, when you messed up that spell,
Oh,
we got
okay.
visitors in the trailer, which, is some great dialogue. And then we get our first our look again at our pumpkin bomb, that damn bridge scene. There he is.
Dude, I was hyped when I saw that little glimpse, but I think we get a better one in the trailer a little bit later
Absolutely.
on, and it's
But this is like so foreboding. Like, he's right there.
man, he gets sideswiped, man.
This is probably going to be our introduction to Electro, I imagine.
I think
Um,
so.
and we get our look at this new suit here, which I believe is something to do with, like, the so that he can withstand electricity, or as we see a little bit later, it gets like some strange infusion
Yeah, I'm
with it.
thinking it's a spell suit.
Spell suit, that's so cool.
I'm thinking maybe even that there's some like caveat where maybe he can't physically touch someone from that they figure out later on because of multiverse shit. That would be kind of dumb. I hope that doesn't happen. Um,
Like skin to skin contact, or like
skin
because
contact,
we get Otto grabbing him at a certain point later on.
we do, but he doesn't like touch his skin. If that makes any sense.
Okay, so yeah, skin to skin.
Skin to skin contact. Yeah.
Okay. Um, speaking of Otto, we do get those arms coming up,
That's such a
and
good shot.
it's fantastic. I mean, I already know this movie is going to be a CGI fest, but like, damn, it's going to be so fun.
It looks good. Speaking of CGI set fest, I noticed that there was a huge jump in the intensity and quality of the action scenes between Spider-Man: Homecoming and Spider-Man: Far From Home. And I was just kind of looking into Tom Holland's official, I guess, thoughts right after the trailer came out. That fan event, he was out there talking to people, and I
Mhm.
think he said, "quote unquote," that this had some like the craziest fight scenes, in particular, like hand to hand stuff that has that have been in any of the movies so far. With a big emphasis on how gritty it is, and apparently he was talking about how like his knuckles were bleeding after days
Jeez,
of shooting some of this stuff. So that gets me excited already too.
I wouldn't expect anything else from Nathan Drake.
Oh boy,
Our
people
first
are upset about
action
that.
scene with uh with Doc Ock and Spider-Man looking pretty slick, TBH. And this has got, and as we're gonna see in the next scene here, this is probably his introduction.
Right.
Um, you see a little bit of confusion in this scene with, "Oh, you're not Peter. You're not my Peter."
So it's funny that he's wearing a tie in this. Yet again, we're talking about speculation. Do you think he's on his way to court when this
Who's
goes down?
Spider-Man?
Yeah.
Oh, right. There is that scene where he's like talking to that lady in the car.
Yeah. Do you think he's gonna like on his way, like maybe he just got sentenced to prison or something like that, and then this happens? Like his day is just terrible.
Maybe.
I don't know. Yeah, I'm excited. There's so many different potential plot points.
Mhm. Now we do get an Amazing Spider-Man 8183, which I remember I read a comment saying like this is the introduction of Big Wheel, Spider-Man's most famous villain.
Oh my god.
I don't know if that's true or not. I'm a journalist, but I have not
That
done that research yet. But if Big Wheel is the secret sixth member of the Sinister Six, best movie, dude.
that'd be funny. That'd be hilarious.
What else do we get in
Yeah,
here?
what is the secret sixth member? That's what I'm thinking. I mean, it has to be like maybe the original trio or one of
I
the original six.
do you want my bet?
Sure.
My bet is that if you're looking at his Instagram, there were photos of Ned's actor in a bunch of prosthetic stuff. So my bet is Hobgoblin.
I think Ned's Hobgoblin.
Well, in the comics, Ned is Hobgoblin.
Oh boy. You think that's Ned on the glider?
No, I don't think it's in the glider. I'm almost positive that's Willem Dafoe
Oh,
because
man.
that's like his new look for this movie.
Do you think he has to kill Ned? You think that's why he's crying, maybe?
Maybe. I mean, we see.
Oh,
We'll get to it in a second. Because we're like at the third way point of this
right.
trailer. We managed to capture Doc Ock, if I had to guess, through some form of sorcery, because like it's just open.
Yeah. I think it's probably sorcery.
Or maybe this is his introduction and he breaks out later, but it looks like they've already had
Right.
their fight at that point,
Okay.
making fun of the Doc Ock name.
All right. Now I have to be. I didn't think that was that funny. Like, I mean,
Yeah.
it's
I mean, we put respect on that name.
yeah, Otto Octavius. Like, it'd be one thing if it's like Doctor Octopus. I'd be like, what's your actual name? Then I could get that. But
Ned's got a crossbow. I think that's funny.
oh, I didn't notice he had a crossbow. That's so interesting. Good.
I
Good.
mean, yeah, he could definitely take him down with a crossbow.
Also, I think
Here,
Lena looks a little slimmer. Good for him.
good for him. Ned definitely looks slimmer. That's for sure. Uh, Here's our Statue of Liberty, and they're gonna put a damn Captain America shield on it.
Oh, ho. The unveiling.
'Cause, yeah, this is probably gonna be Spider-Man on his way to deal with Electro, and he's blue right there.
He is blue.
So there's definitely some continuity from the other. You know,
Maybe he appears here and then gets the
yeah,
tech suit upgrade, and then he can
that's what I'm
control it
thinking.
now.
Yeah, I'm betting that this is, Peter about to do his banishment, that Strange tells him about on Elektra, but it's not going to go as planned because we see that there is that big fight later on.
Who's developing the gear? That's what I want to know.
Well,
I
Otto
would say it
looked
would
like
be
it
Otto
took.
if he weren't captured already.
Right. Okay, here's some crazy stuff. So I think there are a bunch of scenes in this trailer from this scene in particular. Um, we see the Daily Bugles here, and in this next shot, we got Jay Jonah, who's back,
Oh,
rocking that awesome stash.
and
Um,
it does a thing.
I'm gonna go ahead and bet that this is some sort of exposing of Spider-Man, like
Oh,
somebody's like set him up, and the Daily Bugle's on the scene to like capture like a Spider-Man crime.
okay, that could be it.
Is what I'm guessing. We also got Sands.
Oh, I did not catch the sand there.
I actually didn't notice that either earlier. We got the Sands, got the electricity. This is definitely going to be like a pivotal action point in the movie, I'm sure.
I'm sure it is. And here's something I wanted to ask you a little bit. Considering there's a lot of sands, construction sites, etc., of things going down. Do you think potentially towards the third act of this film we could be having battlescapes in not only Tom Holland's MCU Spider Verse, but
Oh,
we could be
in
potentially
Reigns.
fighting like at the Raimi construction site, or we could be potentially fighting at the clock tower at the end of ASM2.
I don't know. I think it's crazy enough that we're getting them into MCU Earth, so I think that's probably going to be their focus. But I don't think it'd be. I don't think they'd be above doing like a callback or something like that.
That would be very cool. I hope this film doesn't lean too much on calling back to these films as fan service. I really hope that they're used as proper narrative devices to propel this story forward.
So halfway through the trailer here, pumpkin bomb being thrown. Don't see who's throwing it, but I'm betting this is a pivotal character death. Um, in the form of car blowing up. In the form of, I really hope. By the way, I hope we really get someone getting skeletonized.
I hope we do too. I would love it. That goofy Sam Raimi, just instant skeleton to Ash. Love it.
I'm betting that we get a death by. I mean, we'll see it later, but I'm guessing Happy or Aunt May.
Happy or Aunt May. Well, I mean, I think
Um,
it's John Favreau could definitely have a good exit at this point.
Yeah. What else is new here? This is showcasing, them kind of butting heads about what to do about these villains and what to do about the multiverse. Which I think it's going to be interesting seeing these heroes like kind of butt heads.
This man basically said, "Hey, you kind of have to kill him. That's how it needs to go. Someone's
Okay.
got to do it."
There's like some flashing red light over here. That's like police lights to me. So like I think Aunt May is there when the pumpkin bomb is thrown. But as we will see, here's some more of that finale. Look at these eyes.
God damn it, Ethan! I didn't see that.
Look at these eyes, dude. These look pretty
Put that
triangular.
up for a second and take a look at that suit.
This looks pretty triangular. Hmm.
Oh boy, dude. Wait, I mean, it's a motion blurred shot.
Yeah, it could be anything.
It could be anything, but if you had to put your best foot forward, I would say that if it is not motion blur, then we are very much looking at total blur.
Yeah. I like the dialogue here from Jamie Foxx's Electro here. He's like, I'm not gonna mess up my chance. Meaning he knows how dirty he got did in ASM 2.
So do you think they're already dead and they're like actually brought back, or do you think it's like right before?
Probably they're dead. I'm gonna go ahead and guess because Strange said like, oh, they were all killed in their universe. I mean, that doesn't really make sense for Lizard and Sandman, but I don't know.
We don't know yet.
Maybe we see something off screen.
I'm thinking Doc Ock is over here helping clap some cheeks at the end of this.
Maybe. I mean, this looks pretty in sequence with Electro shooting something and then Doc Ock getting blown off. There is the soul thing, or some strange tech,
Right.
which is going to play, a big part in this finale. It looks like maybe that's like their way home. No Way Home. Maybe that's their way home.
No Way Home. Yeah. Maybe No Way Home is meant for the villains.
He also has it in this scene, so this has got to be part of that sequence where Strange is restraining him.
I love it how this dude's literally just dropped to the center of the earth.
Oh my god.
I love it. People used to make fun of this shit for looking like a Power Ranger costume, but it ages well. It looks cool.
It looks definitely updated. But it still has like the same.
I don't want to say feel. It's as much updated as it is CG. Become CG.
Okay, I didn't want to get right to it, but like, damn, this guy looks like smooth in like a CG way. Like, look how smooth. Like remember like his head was like pointy. Remember?
Yeah,
I think now this looks like a watermelon.
Is he?
I just want to smack his head. Yeah, very Xenomorph. You're right. Still looks good.
Okay. Ethan, that's a very good point. If we take a look at Tom Holland's suit in that next shot, I didn't see any silver shit like that on that previous Spider-Man that was
him swinging.
And I'm pretty sure that's all going to go down in the same scene.
Right. So, I mean, there's more evidence of other Spider-Men, but we'll get to that shortly. Do we know anything about a DODC, Department of Dimensional Control?
I don't know. What is the DODC?
I wish it was just S.H.I.E.L.D. at this point.
Yeah, it probably.
Happy
just watched the love of his life fucking explode.
I think Happy just watched Aunt May get turned into a skeleton. Looks broken. Definitely some strange shenanigans going on there. Oh, then the money shots. Lizard, Sandman, Electro, looking pretty sick.
Yeah.
All like semi-new designs because like it's a different face from Spider-Man 3. ASM 2's design is just completely gone. And then I think they reworked Lizard's face just a little bit.
I don't think it's quite as snouty.
Right. He's no longer sporting the lab coat. He's just naked now.
Naked.
This is definitely Aunt May. In this dialogue, he's like, I can't like save everyone. So maybe she doesn't die. Maybe
I'm thinking maybe one of the villains gets it.
Who's most likely to die as a villain?
I think that they're gonna really get us attached to Dr. Octavius, and then he's gonna go again and just stomp us really hard.
I mean, he's in that finale scene that we kind of see at the Statue of Liberty. So I don't think he's gonna die here. maybe like who's the it's like I don't
Could it be
know.
Ned?
He's also at that finale scene, as we'll see in a second. But
Man, who eats shit, man?
it's shit. And this is like, the money shot, but
That's way too wide a shot. Number
it's way
one.
too wide. So there's space here for somebody, and there's space here for someone. And I don't think it's in this trailer, but look at that lizard head.
He's coming after somebody. I thought it was really funny. I think it might have been Jeremy Johns actually who pointed out it's like the logic. Okay, if you're going
Yeah.
for Spider-Man, this dude's just completely going the opposite
Whiffing
way.
it. Yeah. So if you don't know, in the Brazil trailer, this shot is extended just a little bit, where it happens now, where the lizard's head gets snapped back by what looks to be like an invisible punch, which is evidence of someone being CG'd out for trailer purposes, but they forgot to, I don't know, use the version where he does not get punched in like the
Also,
American one.
let's just go ahead and be real. Tobey Maguire and Andrew Garfield, at the very least, Andrew Garfield is definitely in this fucking scene because just something I put together. In that B-roll of Andrew Garfield posing, he was definitely in rafters.
Yes.
Scaffolding.
Yes. And I mean, look at all this. Look at all that. I mean, there's another picture of Holland and Garfield around scaffolding with the addition of Maguire. So I mean the lizard head thing was just the
right, but
the smoking gun for me personally.
I think that of course lizard thing was definitely confirmed, but if you needed any other doubt, for sure. But yeah, I think we're just getting to the point where we as an audience, we are so invested now in becoming investigative journalists whenever any one of these MCU movies comes out. And we have the technology where we can sit here and go frame by frame over every single clip, over what we can pretty much piece things together. So I find it hilarious. Marvel's trying this hard to keep everything under wraps, but yet again, there is still a little bit of a shroud of mystery.
The PTSD from ASM2. It might happen. There's a chance. So here, I could easily see this shot being replaced by Garfield. And
you think Garfield pulls like a redemption thing from
absolutely. That? I think Garfield pulls a redemption. And I mean, in this shot, this glove does match this glove. So they would have to, change this shot up as well. But that is pretty much it for everything. And then, of course, this huge, I mean, it's not even a stinger because we don't technically see anything.
What is tearing through? Is this the part where we get launched into other arenas?
Maybe, but whatever it is, Strange can't hold them back, and they're coming through. Will it be Spider-Man? Maybe.
But I mean, at that point, the scaffold thing is completely broken down.
Right. So
we'll have to whatever happened.
Right. So we'll have to see and wait for December 17th. But how do you feel about the trailer as we wrap up?
Oh man, I'm so excited, and it's hard for me not to be excited whenever Marvel releases one of these trailers because 99% of the time they're very indicative of the feel of the film. I haven't felt cheated. And I'll be honest, I mean, even with some of these more recent Marvel films like Shang-Chi and Eternals, I didn't walk out of either of those films disappointed. And we've just been on such a long hot streak for Marvel. I mean, every other MCU movie has, been the very least good, like Black Widow for as much of like, we're definitely doing this just for a cash grab because people want to see this. It was very enjoyable. And at this point, I think it is impressive that on the MCU's worst day, it's a good movie. It's fun. It might not be earth-shattering, but knowing the people that went into this, knowing the resources that went into this, knowing how excited the cast and crew is for this, the shroud of mystery behind this. I saw a YouTube comment. I don't remember the user's name in particular, but I don't think we have ever seen a standalone superhero film with this much of a shroud, with this big of a shroud of mystery
Mhm.
over it. Uh, because I mean, it's pretty interesting too. I was reading over the production of this film, and it was actually produced fairly quickly. I mean, if we're really talking about principal photography beginning in mid last year and literally wrapping up at the beginning of this year, dude, and they're already hustling towards that release date. And I think actually, Far From Home also had like a pretty fast turnaround from principal photography and getting that thing released. So it's crazy too, just knowing like they're halfway through production before they even know they're getting Alfred Molina for
Mhm.
sure. Because I'm pretty sure they shot a huge chunk of the film before the Christmas break and they finished shooting afterwards. So I'm just impressed that they were able to get this together as fast as it was. And I think it was important because Far From Home was clearly, at least for Sony, the highest grossing film they had ever, produced. So they definitely want to follow up. And just seeing this trailer, or basically not even this trailer, but this poster that we have right in front of us, I am so happy we're seeing this because I remember how really scared I was 2 years ago when MCU and Sony had a little bit of a relationship fight, and they're like, "Oh no, what's going to happen? When are we going to see one of these movies?"